So the other half is breaking it down, dismantling right now, and putting it back together. So hopefully we'll definitely have a show. Chicagorilla, I apologize to you. I do not know what's going on. Everything was fine earlier today. If not, we're going to find another way to do it. If I have to just do it on the laptop. The phone is not the best, but we're going to figure out another way. We're going to figure out a way to do this. And listen, I would maybe put a time on it, but I don't want to. I just want to say hello and just apologize for this. And guys, I just thank you so much for joining, though. It's going to be a good show. I saw that Stephen Day. Stephen Day said YouTube don't want us to have this show. They can't stop it, though, Stephen. So we're going to continue to go on. And just in a minute, we're going to try to get it together. I have no idea what is wrong. Thank you, Chicagorilla. I got some stuff for you. We got to have this show. So we're going to be talking in just a little bit. I don't know, guys. I don't know. You think I can? Chicago, come back in. Let's see, can we proceed with the cell phone? So we won't have to make everybody wait. We can try to do our best. It's not going to look the best, but we'll at least have this conversation and get some good points out. So come back in, and we'll just try to do it from here. Hopefully it'll work. Wow, guys, I've never had this happen. I guess anything can happen. It's live TV. But guess what? If I would have had a rerun, y'all would be looking at the rerun right now. Hello, Chicagorilla.
Hello, Rich Auntie.
Thank you. How are you doing today?
You know what? I have a one of my partners at work. He always asks me. He said, "Man, on a scale of 1 to 10, how's your day today?" And it blew my mind because he doesn't ask me like superficial, like how you doing or da da da. And so I think today was an 8. Today was an 8. But listen, if I say anything less than a 10, he's like, "Well, what can we do to get it to a 10?"
Okay.
He always asks, like, what can we do to get it to a 10? So I'm at an 8 today. I'm at an 8. How was your day?
That is a good day. It was pretty good to about 7:30.
Listen, SB, but here's the thing though, SB. Anytime I wake up above ground on this side of the soil, that's a 7 automatically for me. You know what I mean? And then you go and you do your because you do your day to day and you problem solve, and so listen, you a leader, you a boss.
That's right. That's right.
So you problem solving right now. So this ain't nothing new.
No, we got to go on. I don't let it get me down. Hello, Corey. Hello, Miss Bethany. Thank you for being back. Y'all listen, we improvising today because the mic is totally going out for whatever reason. You're working an hour ago, not working now. It's probably something simple as something not being plugged in, but we just don't know where that something is right now. But he's working on it to get it back together. But the show is gonna go on because I appreciate you so much for doing this with me. I wanted to talk to you. I wanted to just share some things with you, ask you some questions, but I wanted to be like a conversation, not stressful, but just having some conversation. I really want to get to know the grown man Chicagorilla.
Oh, thank you.
Definitely. So I got a confession to make.
Okay.
You ready for it? All right. Here's my guilty confession. I sold a Hellcat. Yeah, I did. I sold it.
What?
Listen, the dealership called me and they said, do you want to sell your car? And I said, what? I said, well, I don't know, maybe, And they said, can you bring it up here? Let's take a look at it or whatever. And I said, okay. I went up there. My car only had 9,000 miles on it because I don't really drive the car. I bought it in 2020. So I had 9,000 miles on it. And they nearly gave me $20,000 over what I paid for the car. So I let them have it.
Yeah, you got to sell it. I know I'm on mute. You got to sell it. I know I'm muted. You got to sell it.
Yeah, so I had to. Yeah, I had to give it to them because it was like, what's happening is I think they had what do you tell me? What do you call those people? An investor, somebody that was going to keep it, because they're done making that car this year. They're not making anymore. So he's like, bring that car up here. So I don't know how much they sold it to him, but they told me to leave my they told me to leave the security boss stickers on it and everything. So and they pulled it right in on the showroom floor. It was crazy. I was like, well, what, did y'all plan for this? They was like, pull it inside. So they pulled it inside. They wouldn't let me take my my YouTube sticker off. I left it on there. They was like, no, leave it there. And so that was that. I couldn't, I could not refuse the offer. So I was like, okay. So listen, I was
now
like,
I'm curious how much they
that
sold it for.
That's what I'm saying. I know. I don't know. You know how those people are though who like to invest in cars. They buy them and they keep them forever. So, I guess he had the idea that it's going to grow in value. Well, it grew in value for me. So maybe it will continue.
Clearly. And don't mind me. I will be. I try and mute. I'm used to doing this on the show, on the other platform that I participate in. I'm used to muting, but I will respond. But it's nothing. It's it's me.
Well, understand when you on the show with Security Boss, no one's going to speak over you. So muting may not be necessary.
Oh my gosh, I cannot. You are too much already. Thank you, man. Thank you, man.
So listen, let's just get into this. I got some questions for you. And these are all things that you may have already spoke about. I just don't know because you probably heard me say before, I'm not a social media person. So I do know that you are, you're real big on Facebook. So they probably know everything about you, but I don't. So first thing I want to know is what's your family dynamic? I've heard you talk about being raised with several women, but tell me about that.
Wow. So most people that know me personally in my real life, gosh, Security, you finna try and pull it up out of me.
Yeah, because I've seen something happen over this last couple of months that it's like, that's amazing.
Well, I want to come into this saying, I consider myself a lifelong student, so I'm always evolving and growing. So that never stops. I may be 90 years old, and still learn something new and try and implement that. So I don't subscribe to, you can't teach an old dog new tricks. Right. However, most people that know me often ask, like, dang, I'm trying to figure out how much I can tell, but it's you, Security Boss, so I'll give it to you. Most people ask me, hey, is your mom present? Like, is your mom still alive? Because I often speak on my grandmother. My grandmother is the matriarch of our family. She's the backbone. She is everything in our family. And she raised me in my formative years. My granddad was not my biological granddad, but he was the man I didn't understand everything that he was trying to teach me until he passed. And it's sad because it wasn't until we did the last viewing and I walked past him and I literally had to apologize because it was just like at that moment, it just kind of hit me like, dang, I understand everything he was trying to teach me now, sir. Right. And so, I definitely was raised. There was a house full of women, but I had uncles that I gleaned from. And actually, the conversations that I have with my uncles now, it's interesting because, at my age, I'm able to finally have an adult beverage with them and be comfortable. So like even to this day, if I bring something in the house and I'm celebrating with my uncles, I hide it from my grandma so she don't see it. Right. But with my uncles, I'm just now to the point where I feel comfortable sitting at the big boy table and being able to have a conversation with them where I'm contributing, right? And not just adding fodder and, mindless rubbish and, yada, yada, yada.
So let me say this to you. I just want to acknowledge this super chat. Napoleon, thank you so much for the $9.99 super chat and showing love. Thank you so much because we are struggle streaming and I'm so glad that you're here. And y'all are just, I love y'all because I don't know if I would have stuck around for
The
myself.
devil is a lie. The devil is a lie, Auntie.
Listen, we're going to break some ground tonight. So let me tell you why I asked that question, because you have an amazing amount of respect for women that you don't typically see in men anymore. And it's such a humbling thing to see you interact. It's almost like you're saying, this is funny, but it's almost like you're saying, I'm feeling your pain right now. I understand you. So I get where you're coming from. So I'm going to back off. Uh-oh.
I hit the wrong button. No. I just hit the wrong button. But you know
Listen,
what?
thank
No, we're gonna struggle stream tonight, security, because I do
yeah,
think
we are.
I do think the people need to hear this. Because I think people get it confused when it comes to me. I talk in a way that I try and relate to people. And then of course I'm from the south side of Chicago. So I deal with younger men because that's my passion point. However, you know, I had aunts in my house. I got two blood sisters. You know, I have sisters on my father's side. You know, I got a ton of cousins. You know, I was the first male child and in that house, and I was the only male child for quite some time. For quite some time. So my other baby cousin, like we got years apart. We
Wow.
years apart. You know, what he likes and what I like, we can't even relate. You know what I'm saying? Like, but I kind of do relate because again, for the demographic that I deal with. But anyway, I say that to say, listen, man, and I'm not calling you man, but I'm just saying this space is just, you know, this YouTube space in this particular part of the sector that I find myself in. You know, I didn't ask for this. I wasn't, you know, actively seeking this out. I happened into this space, but who I am is who I am. I was raised by a very strong woman in my formative years. I've seen her sacrifice. She had already raised her kids. There was no reason for her to take me on. There was
Wow.
absolutely no reason, right? And she,
There's a reverence there. There's a reverence there that you have when you're dealing with things, let's just call them things, that
sure.
are like extreme. I can tell that, whereas some men would just blow a gasket, it's almost like you say, it's almost like you're saying, I feel your pain, I see what you're going through, or something of that nature, where you don't feel like, you know, I don't have to fight with you, or I don't have to do
I,
this. It's the
but
humbleness about it.
I try that with all people though, security boss. I try that with male and female. Now I'll acquiesce and say that you know, it tends to happen when I try and do it with men, because I understand, like, you know, in the space with another man, like, hey, we can knuckle up. And I'm never, you know, at this age, I ain't throwing hands now. I ain't getting no scratches on this face, man. But, you know, younger, like, you know, 10, 15 years ago, like, yeah, it could go there, right? But when it comes to females, like, yeah, it's just, I'm just not on that type of time. Like, I respect my moms. I respect my grandmother. My grandmother is a saint. You can't tell me nothing negative about my grandma, right? And I know she had a whole other life before she became a grandma. You know, I got sisters, I got cousins who I love dearly. You know what I'm saying? The mother of my children, you know, I still hold in a particular regard, right? So, you know, I respect women. I don't try and disrespect women, and I don't try and, and I'll also say I'm not perfect at it. But I do try and treat everybody that I interact with a certain level of dignity and respect. And I do understand also, because I look at comments too, and people are just like, oh, well, you should do this. And like, I can't be anybody else other than who I am.
Exactly.
Right. You can't make me
Exactly.
do
Right.
what you would do. Like, if you want to do that, then you could jump on the panel and have the conversation. If you want to cuss somebody out 7 ways to Sunday, you're more than welcome to do that. I don't do that. So, well, I try not
No.
to, but you know, but
You
as B,
you
I can.
are. I think it would hurt you more than it would hurt him, because that's so out of character for you. It's just not your character. It's just you handling it the right way. So I'm saying keep up the good work.
I'm
But I
trying.
want to go
I'm
back.
trying.
I want to go
I
back
mean,
to
I can
something
get in
that
my big coochie energy now, security balls. I can get in my feminine energy. That's a
well,
running
yeah.
joke. That's a running joke. We can go. We can deep dive into it, but it's a running joke. I promise you, I'm
No, I
joking
know
when I
what
say that.
you're talking about. But listen, we're gonna go back a little because you mentioned something that I definitely want to talk about. You said that you didn't ask for this platform, you didn't ask to be here and all that. So how does it feel? And I don't even know if you thought of it like this though, but you are and I hope this is the right words, you are the common person or the common man's role model right now. And they're watching everything that you do. You know that, don't you?
Nah, I've heard
Even
it. I haven't. I've heard it. I just haven't embraced it. Um, I know what I do day to day, and I know this is the thing that I've always told Jr. Um, the moment I don't add value, bro, pull me down. Right? I was invited to
wow.
come speak on the platform. Listen, call him right now. I've always said that. The moment I'm not adding value to these discussions and these conversations, like pull me out of there. But I do understand the perspective that I'm going to come from is always number one. I recognize, and I know I'm ambiguous about my age. So, I know people in the chat are like, well, how old is he or whatever? You guess, you guess.
Look, you know
Listen,
what? I gotta be honest with
you
you.
guess.
I'm not gonna ask your age. And
Mhm.
oftentimes I've struggled with that myself because, does it matter how old I am? Because what I'm saying is what I'm saying. Whether
Here's the
we're the
difference though. But here's the difference, SB. Can I call you SB? I'm giving you
absolutely call me,
nicknames.
whatever. Yeah.
I'm giving you nicknames now, but I do that from time to time. But here's the thing: the reason why age tends to come up is because people think that you're in their bracket, and what you're trying to convey is like, listen, I've actually had a little bit more life experience than what you've experienced, and so age does matter. Does it mean you automatically get deference on this, that, and the third, blah, blah, blah? Like if you're a 60 or 40-year-old fool or a 30-year-old fool, right? Do you get no? But if the person is speaking from a position of experience, then there should be some deference there. So that's why age, for me, I'm kind of ambiguous, but sometimes I'll have to pull some type of rank because some of the stuff that I encounter in these spaces is just like, you can't be serious. You have
Well,
no
Harrison, they say age isn't a barometer for maturity. It is not.
It's not.
But I
It's
also
not.
wonder, but it does kind of make sense because not everybody can hear wisdom. Just like you remember the other night when Bolo was speaking about the tale of when the man just would not put his head back in the window and the train went through a tunnel and then lost his head. So I get it. I get it. Hey, black man, how are you? How are you? So listen, how do you feel about that? Because you you have you have lived your life, and of course it wasn't your intentions, but you have lived your life. You've been married as a younger man. You got divorced. You moved from one city to another. And then now you're getting ready to get married again. And I want to talk about that because we saw your mindset change, or I did. I don't know what other people were looking at, but I saw your mindset change right in front of my eyes. And it was almost, if I can bless you with this, a completion in who you are. But I don't know if you are seeing it like that. Because I'm going to say it to you this way. As followers of Christ, we read the word, we know the word, and we know about being in alignment with Christ. We know all about it. We love it, and sometimes we mess up and we do things that are wrong. And sometimes we don't see how to get it right. We just don't see it. It's just like, what can I do? And then we live our life and we just forget about it. And we continue to live just the way we are, as good people, still spreading the word as good people. But then when you have an opportunity to get it right, and you say, your mind then makes a shift and you say, okay, I'm going to do this right. You are setting yourself up for so many blessings. It's like, dang, I missed that. So now I'm going to get it right. So what do you do now with all of this?
So here's the thing. So let me answer a little bit more. Well, let me add a little bit more context to the question that you asked
Please
before
do.
about being seen as like the everyday man. Like I embrace
Oh,
being average. I embrace being blue collar. I know there are people that are colleagues that are millionaires and people that aspire to be millionaire, men of status and substance and things of that nature. And I think for me, honestly, I think it's important to play your part where you are. One of the things I told JR, and some of my best friends know me more like I always refer to myself as Pippin, right? Not this new
Yeah.
age Pippin, but I'm talking about 92, 93, 94 Pippin, 96 championship Bulls team Pippin, like Jordan's right hand during that run Pippin, those six titles Pippin. Like I refer to, and what do I mean by that? You remember gosh, you remember in the scripture how it talks about the relationship between David and Jonathan? Right? And it talks about how David loved Jonathan as a brother. Jonathan was not blood related. David loved Jonathan more than his blood kin, right? And so it speaks to, and people don't really do a deep dive on Jonathan, but it speaks to the utility and the stand-up person that Jonathan was. David was the king. Jonathan didn't covet that. He didn't covet his wives. He didn't covet his riches and wealth. And he understood his role, right, to David in terms of
Right.
supporting. So I always try and present myself as that. I never want to. I don't care about like I don't. Listen. I don't do a whole bunch of camming up. I don't even. It's funny because in the middle of all these conversations and fake YouTube beefs and stuff like that, it was inserted that really you'll never have a channel and nobody wants to hear you and this, that, and the third. And I was like, I don't want a channel. I don't want to be out in front, right? I'm comfortable with supporting the vision and the mission that I believe God has called me to, is the point that I'm making, security boss. So I wanted to answer honestly. I do get the inbox. People have no idea. I get the inboxes, the DMs, the private messages all the time. Yo, Rilla, you on point. Yo, stand on your square. Yo, bro, we hear you. Because I do honestly try and call it down the middle when I see certain things in regards to whether brothers need to step up. I'm gonna speak on it. Now I'm in a space where, because honestly, security bars, I didn't see it before. What the brothers were complaining about, I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna tell you what changed. You know what changed for me? JR and Anti will tell you this. Me and Boothang went to Miami for her birthday. We went to South Beach. Child. We was in that god doggone airport. We was in the airport. It was bonnets, booty shorts, and
Oh,
furry slippers.
yeah, you in Miami. Yeah, you're right. It
It,
was.
there and back. We all up now when we got to Miami, not Collins. What's the other street? Dang, I don't even remember the streets now. Was it Collins? I think it was Collins. But I was really more active than Boothang was because it was just too hot for her. She didn't want to be bothered with them folk. All up and down, and then we talking about the height of this beer bug in Florida with Ron DeSantis. Anyway, I'm looking and I'm just like, dang, oh wow. I see what the brothers are talking about. I see what the brother. Was it Washington? I don't know if it was Washington. Top Gun. Could have been, but it was all over. Shout out to my favorite Jamaican Gail at night. but but it clicked for me in June. SB, it clicked for me like, yo, this is what the brothers are talking about. That they put in all this work and they go build themselves up and they done heard for so long they not sugar honey iced tea. And this is the other part that gets left out in the conversation, because I do hear brothers in this space that talk about for years we've been told we ain't sugar honey iced tea and the women have been coming against us. All right, listen. And I alluded to this on King Talk last night. You forget the remnant of brothers that didn't necessarily also have a great relationship with their father. And there's a gang of brothers that's like, I'm not going to be the man that he was. And they put the
Right.
work in on themselves, right?
True.
To become better men, right? And so now when I'm going out here and I done built myself up and I'm able to, afford a certain lifestyle and I'm ready to build my family and extend my legacy, then I'm not finding a woman that can match me on that level. And it wasn't until June I saw it. SB, I'm telling you, I saw it. We landed in Miami. like 3 in the morning. We had so many delays. We landed at 3 in the morning. I'm sitting in the Miami airport looking at booty shorts, furry slippers, and bonnets at 4 in the morning. I was
Yep.
looking. I didn't see any Cubans. I didn't see any Caucasians. I didn't see nobody. Anyway.
So listen, let me give a shout out to Harrison's
Yes, ma'am.
Family Vlogs for the super chat. Thank you so much for your your $5 super chat. And it says here, all y'all need to know is that Chicago-Rilla is an old young man. And you definitely are. You definitely have a old spirit. So we already know that. So tell me this. So when you got that revelation and you seen all these young women, no, yeah, when you seen all these women in the airport just not completely dressed, because I don't have a problem with them with their bonnets and their furry slippers if they're at home, that's okay, but you're not supposed to present yourself in public that way. So from that point, what did you do different in your own life?
It made me understand the brothers' complaints a little bit more, to be honest. In my personal life, I don't have women like in my family, women that I'm cool with. I don't see that. But in that particular space, my girl doesn't. Man, listen, I'm not calling you man, so please don't get offended if I say man.
Okay. Listen, and we're not 10 toes down. I know what you're talking about. So
yes, ma'am. Okay.
I got you.
All right. Okay. I appreciate that. I just, I want to respect the house.
I got you. Go ahead.
And so in my personal life, I don't experience that. Even with my girl, she'll ask me, about her, how she looks and certain things. And, for my liking, yeah. But then she'll ask like, hey, is this too risque? And I'm like, listen, you ain't never got to, and this is my honest opinion with her. You ain't never got it, because she's way more harder on herself. She's way more conservative and just certain things she just wouldn't wear. So that's one of the reasons why I chose her too, because I ain't never got to be worried about her going out with no doggone bonnet and fur slippers and booty shorts on. She not finna embarrass her family.
It's just
she not finna embarrass herself.
No, and definitely not her man. So we have a tendency to make men look good. So if that's not going to be something that's
a fact.
She's a good representative for you. So you got to keep it together. We know that. So yeah, that was good. Now I got more questions. Last night on King Talk, y'all was talking about fear, and I want you to briefly, if you don't mind, what you cover your face up? Well, listen, I'm gonna give you a minute. No.
I was wiping my eyebrows. I was clearing my mind. I'm with you, man.
But before I ask these questions, I want to thank you guys for coming in. Security Boss and Chicago-Rilla. Security Boss is struggle streaming tonight. My audio is gone, so I'm on my phone. So listen, y'all, bear with me. Typically, we're good to the eyes. Tonight, I don't know what we're looking like, but forgive us. We're good, though. Thank you guys for being here, and the show must go on, and we're still having good conversation. So if you can hear, please hear. So let's go back to it. Real Thomas, how are you? Thank you for being here. So, Rail said in Miami, don't forget the lashes. You're going to have lashes in a bag on your head, too? That don't make sense. That don't seem like it would be right in any kind of way.
They was looking like Snuffleupagus, man. They were looking like Snuffleupagus.
Wow. So let me, but before I go on, what no men with them was it? Was some men with them?
Okay, so here's the crazy thing. There were, great question. There were males with them.
Okay, gotcha. I'm with you. I'm tracking. I got you. I just said exactly what you said. So we're going to move on for that. So last night on King Talk, you all spoke about fear. And you haven't got into any details, and you don't have to if you don't want to, but I do want you to kind of mention your story, because you are doing something that most men are so fearful to do. You have been married before and you got a divorce, and you're actually considering and has asked a woman to be married again. So let's talk about that fear that you have. But let's first go back to the marriage that is divorced. Just briefly, tell us a little bit about that. how it was for you, how long, and not just necessarily why it divorced, but how it impacted you, the divorce part.
Yeah. And I think this is important. I'm just sitting up here trying to parse it out because I'm like, dang, SB, I might want to save some of this, but I'm not saving
I
anything.
know, and I'm all upside
No,
down.
I'm not saving anything. I'm not saving anything. I'll lay it out for you. Because
We'll write a book later. You want to write a book?
I think I thought about that. Some of the experiences that I had, I thought about that. But I think it's important to get this message out because there's so many different perspectives coming out in this space, and
Yes.
so many different stories being told. And I don't have all the answers, and I don't know everything, right? So the only thing I try and do is put some paint where it ain't. That's it. So,
So
go ahead.
let me add to that, Chicago-rilla. You can give me the Cliff Note version because what I'm
I
trying to
got you.
do is I advocate for men on this side, and
I
I
know.
want men to be in the position that you're in,
Yeah. No, I
and
got
know
you.
that it's okay. Yeah.
No, I
Okay. So
got you,
let's go.
and I think the best way for me to do it is just to be me. So I can't, like, I in the moment I'm trying to figure out, and I can't do it any other way than to be me. So I'm just saying, like, are you just getting a real moment of me struggling? That's all. But I'm sorting it out in my head, right? So, the truth of the matter is the mother of my children, um, you know, we were co-workers, and then we were friends, and then we, you know, we dated. No, I ain't gonna say fooled around. We dated. We seriously dated. And then I actually introduced her to my grandma, and my grandma said, nope, she ain't the one. That's not it.
Whoa.
Yep. And I said, and I've said this on the show before too, I think. But I told my grandma, in my mind's eye, I didn't tell my grandma this. But in my mind, I was like, oh, grandma, you tripping. Right. You know why?
Wow.
Because I was looking at everything else. Let me tell you a couple of things I was looking at. First of all, the mother of my children, when she was younger, bad cheerleader. She was a cheerleader. She was bad. And the crazy thing is everybody at the job was on some like she bad. And I was the only one. I was the only one like, she all right. And it wasn't, but the thing of it is, it wasn't that I mean, I got eyes, I could see. I saw she was bad. She cute face, slim waist, curvaceous in every way, right? But I just wasn't with jock. Like every time dudes get the jock ride, I'm like, man, y'all tripping. Because then you
Oh
look
my
at
God.
the attitude. Like she was known to have this attitude. And
Oh.
but she overheard me saying that, and she was like, she told me like I got more attracted to you. So anyway, when we started dating, we get to doing things we're not supposed to do because we're not in covenant, right? And so next thing I know, I have a son on the way. So what's the first thing I'm gonna do? Escaping the ghost pattern of my father, I'm gonna make an honest woman out of her, right? Had nothing to do with love, had nothing to do with future planning, had nothing to do with, I don't want my seed to not grow up in the house without his mother and father present. So then the next thing you know, uh, we get together. My son is born in April. We got married in August, right? And then, life happens, and we started planning for a baby girl because the game plan was a boy and a girl, and we done. Well, we have man, and then we planning for a girl, and here comes fat boy. So wait a minute, fat boy, you supposed to be a fat girl. So she still wanted her girl. She still wanted her
Oh.
girl after fat boy. So we planned again. So man wasn't planned for. Fat boy was not planned for, but Ladybug was. So I have a man, fat boy, Ladybug. And that relationship, because I was still fairly young and not the man that I needed to be, nor was I the leader that I needed to be. And then she started experiencing postpartum, which wasn't identified until Fat Boy was born. And I didn't know how to handle it. I didn't know how to dress. I was just like, pull yourself out of it. What are you doing? So I regret that I wasn't as supportive for her then. or got a couple things in that situation. But the worst thing I think I could have did, or the worst thing I think I did do, was stay 10 years in a relationship for the sake of my children, because ultimately there wasn't a balance there, and I think it did more damage than anything else, right? And so it wasn't a marriage based on it wasn't even a shotgun wedding, because I talked about, and I think this is important too for gentlemen that may be listening. I looked at the physical features of her, so I said that. You know, the other thing I considered was her family. Her family was super dope. Her family, still to this day, we have a good relationship. I have a good relationship with everybody in her family except for her. Everybody in her family, including her daddy, I'm cool with. Cool with. Her grandma, up until the time she went to join the Lord. I call her Foxy Cleopatra. She called me Richard Roundtree. Right? Still cool with all of them, except for her. And so I say that to say is that, gentlemen, and this is why I'm so such an advocate, right? This is one of the two things I advocate for. Number one, that I don't have all the answers. I don't know everything. And I challenge young bloods to learn from my mistake. The other thing that I challenge young bloods to do is be the master of your genitals.
Yep, you can say that.
That's why I don't have no problem with telling cats like, yo, keep it to yourself, fam. Because honestly, you know, if I could have been a 40-year-old virgin, I would have did that. And I wouldn't have cared what nobody said. I wouldn't have cared what nobody said in high school, college. I wouldn't have cared what they said in the workplace. I would not have cared, because at the just give me one space for all of that. And you bring a seed into this world. Do you not understand? Once you bring a seed into this world, it's no longer about you. Not only that, and not only that, you have a soul tie with that woman. There's a soul tie there, fam. You can't be running out here spilling your seed willy-nilly. So it does my heart good when I do hear brothers in the space talk about, yeah, you know, I'm whatever, you know, whatever age, but I'm without seed. Right. And so those are the two things that I do advocate for, man. Be the master of your genitalia. I don't know everything. Learn from my mistake. Do not marry. Do not marry, and don't stay in a relationship of any sort for the sake of children. That's the worst thing you could do.
So let me tell you what I heard you say, and this is very important too, because you mentioned there was somebody very important in your life, which was your grandmother, and of course she was your elder, and she had invested into your life and didn't have to. And I hear this so much, that the elder, whether it's the mother, the dad, the aunt, the older brother, whoever, no, she's not the one. No, she's not the one. And for whatever reason, they don't listen. They can't hear that subtle warning. How can we get them to hear that subtle warning that this is a red flag, go the other way? How can we get them to hear that? Because that would have saved you. If you could have just heard it, because I think the way you told the story, that warning came in way before anything but what? Second date, third date, maybe? So how can we, and I'm agreeing with you, because I give a lot of subtle warnings. But I talk to my husband about this all the time. I feel like nobody hears me. And I can give a subtle warning, and I can hear people, even on YouTube, I can hear people on YouTube saying the same thing I'm saying, like in different ways at a different time. And I'd be like, gosh, this is some kind of confirmation, but I feel like nobody hears me. So your elder, your grandmother gave you a subtle woman, and I'm gonna give you I'm gonna bring it real close to home. My husband's mother gave him a subtle woman warning too about his first wife, and he didn't hear it either. He didn't hear it either. So I'm saying this all because I think that if you have relationships that with people who truly love you and are in tune with you, that know who you are, I think you get those type of warnings, whether it's a warning or a go ahead. You get it. And I'm telling you guys, if you hear this, if it's a warning, please slow down. Just slow down. We're not trying to run your life, because you know that's the pushback you get. You're trying to run my life, oh grandma, you don't know everything. Okay. I'm not trying to run your life, but slow down. That's a warning. It's a warning. So what do you got to say about that? How can we get them to hear us?
And this is what I learned. And I think when I say this, you probably acquiesce to. Only thing my grandma could have did was give me the information. It was on me. She couldn't do
Yep.
no more than that. Because as you were saying,
Right.
I was like, well, what if my granddad had said something? I wouldn't have listened. If my
You would
uncles
have done
had
that.
said something, I'd have, man, listen. I probably would anyway. If my uncles had said something, and I love my uncles know. Um, you know, real quick side note. I know people would be like, "Really, you be talking too much." I don't care. Look, security boss.
This is your time to talk
Um,
without interrupting.
Listen, with my uncles, where we at right now, where I'm at in my relationship, it's almost like being made, like being a made man, right? Like I get to sit at the table with them as a made man and get to sip some, you know what I mean, some Tennessee whiskey or some Kentucky bourbon or some fine, cognac or something. Like it's, you know, but even if they had said something at that time, my mind was made up from youthful rebellion. I know everything about nothing at that age. You see what I'm saying? That's why
Yes.
when I run into a Jedi Mike or a Cheeky Banter or a Jonathan Barronville, I tell them young bloods, hey, listen, I'm handing this off to y'all. Who else am I forgetting? Even to be honest, even a Daryl Long, man, when I run into these young bloods, I let them know my time is spent. These knees are done. You know what I mean? This is your time. I'm Mufasa. I'm not Scar, right? You're Simba, right? So because I know the time that I grew up, we complain all the time about the elders who didn't pass the baton to us properly in my era. And then even people before then, it's almost always like we got to take something from them for them to respect. Nah, you ain't got to take nothing from
Right.
me. I'm finna give you the game. And you know what I'm saying? What you choose to do with it is what you choose to do with it, but I'm going to always empower you, right? I'm going to always empower you. And then the Holy Spirit got to do what the Holy Spirit was sent here to do, which is to convict. It's not my job to convict. Holy Spirit got to do that.
Right. So having come out of that, and how long were you married?
10 years. Lord Jesus.
Also, listen, even though you made it out, and I always say this, no amount of money can keep you from having a broken heart. That took a lot out of you, and it shaped your
Oh,
mind
man.
for a time. I know it did.
Man.
Because it's even like a relationship, a woman, her first love, it shapes your mind because you really be thinking you had love and you did it all, and you just, it's really a broken heart. And if no one can understand that, a broken heart is real. It
SB,
is a real thing.
you know what's worse? It was 2 times, because you have the romantic relationship and the covenant that's broken. Then we had 3 kids together.
Yeah,
My
exactly.
kids never got the conversation that, hey, because it was so tumultuous, but they never got the hey, mommy and daddy are going separate ways. We still love y'all. We're still gonna do what's best for y'all, but we're gonna go separate ways. And at this time you're gonna do this, and spend time with daddy, and on these days you're gonna spend time with mommy. And the 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 most troubling thing for me, honestly, SB, was just how it impacted my kids, to be honest, because me and her, we're adults. And to be honest, by the time I moved to Detroit, I remember I was dueling 2 stores as a manager, and she and I had got on decent terms, and she was considering, she's remarried, and
Oh,
she was entertaining the engagement from the gentleman that she's married to now. And I remember I said, girl, if anybody deserve to be happy, it's you, girl. Go ahead, girl. Marry that dude. Yes, boo. Get him, girl. Because I want her off my back. I just want it
I
off.
know. I know. Leave me alone, Lord.
That
Yeah.
ain't do it either. Now I got her and him.
What?
Yeah, well,
Ooh.
and this is
Ooh.
SB. Listen, let me tell you something. because I think these conversations are important. And what's interesting is that I know chat might be going up, but in these YouTube spaces, man, we act like stuff don't happen and it's not real. Yeah, she
What
got
is
this.
it? That's why I'm sorry. That's why
No
I
way.
said this to you. You are the real person. I can see it all over you. You are the real. Like my life is pretty much sheltered. It is my life, and I do tell the truth, and it is real. But I don't have a whole lot of life experiences. Does that make sense? I'm not. I've been married 26 years. I don't have a whole lot
Oh,
of.
I got you. I got you. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't have good stories to tell.
Nah, but
I've done things that haven't been perfect. You
26
know.
years. Salute to you. And here's the other thing. It's almost like when we see Jay Prince and because he be on Anton's lives and he does Mondays with Kay and Kayla. We act like what he's saying is not real. Like life happens. Yes, the mother of my children remarried, and listen. Here's the truth of the matter. Instead of him coming in and having a conversation and saying, "Hey, man, listen, I'm leading this household now. You and I need to have a conversation." Right? Because it's not on me to ask for the conversation. I don't think so. You're in the house with my kids now, right? So I would think if it was me, I would have said, "Hey, bro, look, I'm in the house. I know these are your children. You and I should have a conversation. Let's do lunch or whatever." He didn't do that. He took everything that she was saying, and then he formed his own opinion about me. And again, I'm telling you, to this day, like we have a very contentious relationship, which, at this point,
Wow.
I just choose not to argue. So my point being, when I said now I got to deal with him and her, let me tell you something. I remember my kids were spending the summer up here. And there's a difference. I'm not amusement park daddy. I'm not playground daddy. And what I mean by that is they don't get to come up here and just do whatever. Like they're structured. Like they had book reports due when they left. Okay. But they also knew what they were going back home to. And, if they come to a particular place where they're free, they hadn't seen a daddy, they're excited, da 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 da. And then what was crazy was I got a call from dude, and he was saying something to the effect of like, yeah, they acting different since they came from you. And, if, he was telling me about one of my sons, and he was like, yeah, if they keep talking. And he said in the passive aggressive, like he was doing a type of threat. And I said, man, I hope you ain't talking about putting your hands on one of them, because that ain't going to end well for you. And I wasn't saying
Wow.
like, I'm not saying in terms of me. I'm saying for where they at, Clayco will come see about you. You're going to spend some time over there with Victor Hill. Victor Hill going to sit you still. So my point, and when I say I had to contend with him and her, that's what I mean. There are men out there, when you hear people talk about simping forces, and you hear people talk about, baby mama terrorists, or this system. That's why I get so passionate about Monday's
Yeah.
conversation, right? So
Yeah.
when you hear about this system, like, yeah, it is gear. And then we as men, the truth of the matter is, SB, to your point, if I had listened to grandma, I'd be sitting in a different position, right? But the other part
Yeah.
of it is, here's the grace of God. The
Mm.
grace of God says, even though you went through all of that, there's a blessing in every lesson.
Yes.
Even
Yeah.
though you,
I mean, you hear
and listen,
about it.
and look, this ain't no Job situation, because Job didn't ask for any of that, nor did Job put himself in a position. The Lord said, you put yourself in this position, and
Yep.
and I still love you the same. My love is still here. My grace, my mercy is still here. As long as you abide in the secret place of the Most High, right? So the thing of it is, for me, the lesson for me is, how can I learn from it, which I have, and how can I prevent other people from going through it? That's why
Yes.
I approach things the way I do. I don't approach everything like, I know everything. I wish I could have got it right at 18. I wish I
Yeah.
could have got it right at 25, 28, whatever. But I didn't. And
So
so
brings
go
me
ahead.
to that brings me to this where we're going now, because just like you said, you put yourself into this situation, and you all the while felt like, I'm gonna get this right. I'm gonna get this right. So somewhere along the line here recently, your mind has said, you know what, it's time for me to get it right. Because you knew what you was, only you know, I should say, what was keeping you. So something said it's time to get it right. If you don't mind sharing, what is it?
Yeah, you know what? What's funny? Um, so I talked about June being a catalyst for me being able to see things differently. And what's funny? For all the conversation and all the oofy goofiness that people talk about when it comes to Anton, I listened to dude for a good minute. And when he talks about being married, it talks about being successfully married to Rita. You
Yeah.
know, with Boo Thing, I wasn't in a rush to go back down that path because I had did my 10 years.
Yeah,
Right?
I do that.
But
I do. But guess
but
what? Different
but
person.
but me, yes. And her. I know you're saying she's a different person, but I'm saying
No,
me, I'm a
no, you
different
are.
person.
No, no.
Yes.
Just
Yes,
because
ma'am.
you are willing to take
Yes,
it
ma'am.
on, you are
Yes, ma'am.
now, your mindset has totally changed
Yeah.
from the situation you were in.
And let me tell you what happened. It was two things. It was new information, and then reaffirming what I already knew. There were certain things from a scriptural perspective that I already knew, right? The Bible talks about where two or more gather, there I am in the midst. And I knew that as a premise, a foundation for marriage. So then I started, and then, I being back at the crib, 'cause I've been back now for six years, been back in Chicago.
Hmm.
Um,
I'm fine.
me and her, we associate with a lot of married couples.
Okay.
And you're looking and you're just like, for me, being prophet, priest, and king, I know I can't effectively be prophet, priest, and king without consummating. You understand what I'm saying?
Oh,
Can't be
yeah.
out here talking about, right. Can't be out here talking about prophet, priest, and king. You know what I'm saying? You can't, in that role, you can't fake it till you make it.
No.
Right? You
Right.
talking
And
about
you know it. That's the thing. You know it.
that's the part that was really messing me
Yes.
up. You know what I
Yes.
said on it when it finally clicked for me, what I actually said on the show was that I'm putting her life at risk by not
Yeah.
doing this.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what I want men to understand. I get it, we're in this society where it's people do these long-term relationships and think like, hey, well, you know I'll just tell you about, for me, I understand being in the United States, all the business and all that. I understand that. We talking covenant though.
Yep.
We're talking covenant and we're talking covering. I'm literally putting her life at risk by not making this right. And I'm gonna tell you the other thing. In this scenario, um, with my lady has never been married,
Oh.
and doesn't have kids. Okay.
Oh.
So this is not a situation, because I think that's important. This is not a situation where it's like, um, you know, you, there's all these external factors where we got a baby together, we got to make this right, or we did this, I got to make an honest woman out of it. It ain't none of that. All of it is, she and I had a conversation. We knew for a long time, and then what really happened was I had been talked to her father. And her mother actually stumbled in on the conversation. And that probably was about 3 years ago. And she and I were talking recently. Me and Boo Thing, we were talking recently, and she was just like, well, when you talk to my dad, we could have been did this. And here I am sitting up here thinking like she wanted this big wedding and all this other stuff. And I'm saving up for that. And she's like, nah, we could have been went to the courthouse. Okay, well, let's
Mhm.
get it. Let's do it. So
Wow.
that's where we at with that.
Wow. Congratulations. I mean, you all are going to be
She gonna
so
be
blessed.
so
You know
she
what?
gonna be so upset. She
Oh,
telling about
you
my
can't. Oh,
business.
tell her, don't see it like that.
I know,
See it
I know,
as a awakening. It's an
I
awakening.
know. She knows that she knows I'm passionate about people. I'm gonna tell you something. When I first got back, one of the things I used to do is go and volunteer with Inglewood Barbie, sister here that feeds the less fortunate under the viaduct. These people are out like right now. She's out there probably at 10:30 tonight, right? And I wouldn't get home till 12 or 1 in the morning, but she knew what I was doing.
Right.
And this is what made me fall in love with this girl even more. She has seen me serve someone else. I'm a servant at heart. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So most of
Yeah.
what people, there's other thing that people don't know about me. Most of what they consider, and forgive me for the way that I'm gonna say this, SB, but most of the things that people consider in me on these YouTube streets, like feminine or beta or simp energy, no, I'm a servant. I can be assertive when I need to be, but I don't have to do all of that. I'm a servant first. My woman was actually able to see me serve under the leadership of someone else because I'm submitted to their mission, and it happened to be a woman, and she had no issues with it. She wasn't
Wow.
offended. She wasn't jealous. You know why? Because she was concerned about the greater good.
Right.
And
And you
so,
still played your role. You still played your role.
oh,
And being a
1000%.
servant, being a top-notch servant is a leadership quality. You have to know how to
You
serve
have
in
to
order to
know
be a
how to
leader.
serve. And you can't,
And
and
guess what
that's
else
the
you have to
thing, you
be?
can't put agenda to it though when you do that. Because listen, if we sit up there and look at scripture and it talks about how God can speak through through a donkey, he'll use whoever's available in the moment. If he can't find a man in the land that's willing to stand up, he gon' okay, woman, are you yielded? Are you willing?
How about
Heathen,
that?
Gentile, are you willing? Right? Paul,
Yeah,
are you
that's
willing?
something that we got to
Yeah,
work on. We got to work on
right.
that because I
You
see
do.
two of the major qualities of a leader: top-notch servant, and you're humble. See, a humble man is one that knows when he doesn't know everything and knows when he needs to delegate
That's true.
that particular situation to someone else. And that's what you've done. I've seen it. And you don't, you don't make no big deal about it. You don't make no big deal about it at all. And Bolo TV, how are you? Bolo, I am struggle streaming today. It's a thing. But we still talk,
Shout
getting
out to
this
my brother
message out.
Bolo. Shout out to my brother
But
Bolo. Bolo is one of the few people, if I may just really quick, SB. Bolo is one of
yeah.
the few people in these YouTube streets who like he kind of I don't know how we connected behind the scenes, but we did and we exchanged and Bolo will be quick. If he don't hear from me in a while, hey brother, what's up, man?
Yeah.
Or he sends me a text with he always sends me a message, and when he sends it, I'm like, God, dog, I needed this to get through my day.
I needed that.
Yeah, so salute to you, brother. I appreciate you. I love you, G. Thank you, brother.
So I'm gonna ask the question a little different because I started out saying you talked about fears, but do you have any fears going into this? It doesn't seem like. Well, I'm gonna ask you the question. You
Mm-mm.
don't?
Not going into this.
No.
No, this girl. Going into this marriage.
Yeah.
Man, I can't
Any
wait.
fear?
Look, SB, I can't. I done told this. I done told this girl. I done told her so many times. I said you belong to me. She said, uh, right. So then I got the engagement ring and I proposed on New Year's, right? And then she said she finally acquiesced a little bit and said, yeah, that's part of it, but we ain't crossed that finish line yet, sir. Don't get excited. So
Right.
no, I have no. We talk about. Listen, we plan for living out the rest of our days. I've already told her what I want for my when I do my home going. If she prepares for my home going, like if I go join the Lord first, we've already had that conversation. She already has instructions. She know exactly what to do for me. We talk about
Oh, this.
living out. We doing life on this part like this. I have no issues, no nothing, and my kids love her. What? Man, you about to make me cuss.
Okay. So I got one more. I got one more question, but I don't want you to answer it. I want you to think about it, and I'm gonna see can I get it in my head, and we ain't gonna say it out loud. So you mentioned her not having any kids, and we know you have three, which is probably halfway grown right now. So I'm asking the question, but don't answer. Are there going to be any more kids coming soon? Don't answer. Just think it. And I'm going to get it in my head. Got it. Got it. So listen, that was my last question. I am not gonna get into your boo things, personal business anymore. Tell her I apologize, but I need her up here next. I need y'all together. But listen, you
She's such
represent
an
very well.
introvert.
I don't mind. My husband is too busy. I'm talking all this junk. Have y'all met Mr. Boss before?
I hear you talk about
I ought
him.
to just say myself,
Salute to
right?
him. Salute to him.
I know I should be saying.
Salute to
But
him.
listen, I appreciate everything you was willing to share on that. But we're gonna lighten it up a little bit because we got to get into some mess. You know, mess ain't good unless you have a little bit of mess, right?
Lord Jesus.
So here's my messy
is this the
question.
Tasha K portion?
This is what now?
I was about to ask, is this the Tasha K portion? Because we about to get into some mess.
No, we can't get that messy. She got to pay some money. We ain't going out like that. No. We're gonna be surface mess. We ain't calling no name.
All right.
All right. So here it is. When I say modern women, what's the first thing that comes to your mind? Oh Lord. I said the first thing.
But modern women, independence.
Independent.
Yep.
Oh, okay, independent. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So have you ever watched Rich Auntie before? You know, I do a rapid fire.
Yeah,
where I say and I don't
you
give
threw
a
me
chance
off
to
with
think
that.
about it.
Okay.
Go ahead.
All right, I'm ready. No, I know you
All
do
right.
that. I just when you said modern one, go ahead. I'm ready. Go ahead.
So your rapid fire questions would be Hellcat or Hayabusa.
Hellcat.
Mike is muted.
Hellcat.
Yeah. Ah, all right, all right. Modern or traditional?
Jesus. Honestly, traditional. Honestly, yep.
Okay, okay.
Yep.
Money.
What about it?
Whatever. First thing came in your mind.
Resource.
Resource. I like that.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. What else? Let me think of something. Okay. Accountability. Why you laugh?
Because kryptonite. Kryptonite.
Oh wow! Stop
Kryptonite.
it! Stop it! I've heard that before.
But wait,
Okay,
can I say something? Can I say something, SB? And let me say this.
Yes.
One time for the brothers. I love y'all, but listen, I know it's cute to say that accountability is like kryptonite for women, but it's also kryptonite for a lot of men. Keep it a bean.
Wow.
Keep it a bean.
So, if you had to leave us with one thing, or you wanted us to know one thing about you, no, don't want to answer it that way. Yeah. If it was one word that describes you, and you had to come up with that one word, what would it be?
Loyal.
What?
Loyal.
Loyal. Oh, wow.
Yep.
I can see that.
Yep.
Wow, that's a good one. I never thought that, but I could see it.
To a fault. To a
Wow.
fault. To a fault. Loyal to a fault. Yeah. Yeah.
Wow. Wow, that was good. I hope you enjoyed it.
I
Now,
did.
this is the time when we would actually open up the chat and have people come in. Are you willing to do that? You think we can successfully do that considering we're struggling, or do you think it's going to be weird?
Who's struggling? We're not struggling. We're just having a conversation.
We're not struggling anymore?
No,
I'm
we
sorry.
ain't struggling.
So listen, we're gonna drop the link in the chat, and we're gonna have. Wait a minute though. Did you have any questions for me? I asked all the questions.
Jeez, Louise. You know what? I should have came prepared with questions for you. No,
well, you don't have.
no, SB. No, I was more or less. You know what's funny? I'm glad you kind of set me at ease because I'm really, really apprehensive about jumping on a lot of platforms only unless it's like family and friends. So I don't you if you notice, like I'm in a lot of chats. I try not to cam up on a lot of spaces. But thank
Right.
you for making me feel welcome and a part of your family over here for what you're doing. And outside of Uncle Stu, this is probably the second time I've had a conversation where somebody actually tried to dig in and see like, okay, Rilla, who are you? Outside of the blase skill woo de woo and the slick pimp talk and all that other all that slick
Right.
stuff you do on Thursdays and Tuesdays. Like, who is you, dude? So nah, thank you for opening up your home to me and making me feel
Thank
like a
you for
welcome
being
guest
here.
here.
I mean, I know that about you, and I do, and I also see where you're going. So, I guess I'm just getting you ready because you're gonna be having to say all these things to several other people that are way different than security boss. So I'm just getting you ready.
Can I tell you one last thing too, before you
Sure.
open the lines up?
Hmm.
I really am passionate about these young bloods, man. I really am passionate about these brothers because I think there's a remnant that's being left behind. A lot of times we focus on, like the Pookies and the Ray Rays. Like when we talk about doing charitable works or philanthropic efforts and, save our young men, a lot of times we think about the wayward teens and young boys that are out there. The truth of the matter is there's a lot more young boys like me who grew up in the hood, who was in it but not of it, right?
Right. Hmm.
And they were considered nerds, right? I've worn glasses all my life. I said on the platform plenty of times, people used to in my neighborhood, they used to call me professor, right? And I rejected being a nerd, and struggled to kind of find my way until I got to high school and was able to find my niche. And so what I try and convey to a lot of young men, especially my sons, obviously, but um, you know find your purpose and what you're supposed to be doing first. If I had did that at got doggone 16,
Yes.
Jesus
Yes.
Christ, man. It's like screw multi-millionaire. I would have been a millionaire by now.
Yeah.
Screw millionaire, billionaire. I would have been a millionaire by now.
Well, do you think the world is, how can I say this? Like, for instance, I've said this before that I'm not my mother, right? Even though, my mom was my age at one time, I'm not her, meaning far as knowing what's going on in the world, being able to relate to what's going on in the world. Do you think the fact that the gap is getting closer together per se, that this is a benefit so the young men can hear you?
Yeah. Yeah, I think but I've worked really hard to try and relate to them.
Yeah,
And I also recognize that I ain't for everybody. I'm not
no,
supposed to be for everybody. There's a certain group of people that God has called me to, and those are the people that I try and associate with. So, um, yeah, young bloods. If I had any young blood that's in that chat, man, be intentional and focus on self. Honestly, focus on self and know that you are enough. You were created before you were formed in the womb. He knew your purpose and your destiny. He knew the end from the beginning for you. Your role is to don't focus on religion. Don't focus on what all these other folks saying about whatever, man. Know God for yourself, man. Have a
yeah,
relationship with him for yourself. And I'll say the last thing. Somebody, I think Rel Thomas put in the chat, and I will reiterate that. Big Mama and Mama and them know what they be talking about.
yep, yep. I swear they do. I mean, that's so sad because I know exactly. I mean, you know how easy that is? See how easy that is? And it's just like it just goes right over our head. I struggle with that because you can say something and it be said so calmly, but nobody hears it. And it's just like, oh, that was it. 10 years later, you realize that lady told me not to do this. And you done got yourself, who knows where you sit. And hopefully you sit on a bench somewhere, not in prison. But anyway, It was such a joy to talk to you. Now we're gonna drop this link in this chat, and I don't know if there's gonna be anybody that came up, but I hope so because those that was true to this game tonight and came back and rolled with us, they're here, and I appreciate them because I'm telling you, we was doing some stuff. I was just talking, Chicago-Rilla. You don't even understand. I came on, I was just going. I didn't know I wasn't being heard, not one bit. I was like, we can't hear you. I was like, oh, okay. I hear myself perfectly well. They don't understand when you well, most of them probably do. When you're behind this camera, I don't even be looking at the chat. I don't even look at the screen. I'm looking in the camera, so I don't even know what's going on. So it's funny. It's very funny. Let's see if somebody gonna join us tonight with any questions.
Your production
Real
be so top notch.
Miss Anderson, I am glad it all worked out. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being here, Corey. You always, Corey laughing out loud. Yeah, don't laugh at me, Corey. We're going to get together because, I have to do better than this. But listen, if I had, like I said, this is live TV. I feel like what's that show? I feel like the Ellen Show right now.
And
Definitely.
You know what I say a lot to SB? Nobody up here is a professional. We're real people having real conversations in real time about real things. You know what I mean? So you work to perfect your craft. Yeah.
That's what makes it so good. I mean, you get to laugh at yourself when you can't think of a word or when something go wrong. I mean, what you gonna do? Throw it out the window? No, you just laugh at yourself and keep going. I mean, it's just not that serious like that. But you definitely want to be able to push your message out there. And those who stay there with you or come back and check in with you later, I mean, you got to know you that's love. That's true. They want to hear what you have to say. So I appreciate them, every bit of it. So the link is out there now. I don't know if anyone is hamming up. So I guess I can't see that part right now. I'm on my phone. The phone made it work. So we're going to give them just a few minutes. But I definitely appreciate this. And you're going to have to come back. I'm not going to bother you anymore. I got the message, though. Don't even think I didn't. I got the message. But you're going to have to come back after the nuptials. And just put a smile on your face and just let us know that it happened. So we got for hell. Hello.
Hey, how are you?
How you doing? Well.
Good to see you, security boss. Listen, Rilla, ladies and gentlemen, salute to the brother in the building.
Huh?
Yeah, I just wanted to jump on really quickly. I just got off of an interview. I just wanted to, first of all, say, I love your platform and what you're doing. Rilla, man, listen, man, I got a profound respect for you, bro. And I'm going to tell you why. I'm going to tell you why I got a profound respect for you. Your heart for people and for the youth is unmatched in these streets. Like, you are consistent about what you believe. And I always say, listen, if nobody else connect any words, let me tell you 2 words that we associate with Rilla, these young bloods. Like, you be so on it, man, and our community needs this. They need to see more men that are advocates, that believe in them, that are fighting for them, that consider them. And you do that. You do such a good job, man. You do such a good job of articulating the needs, what's going on, man. And I got to say, bro, a lot of respect for you. Had to come on here and say that to you, my brother. Had to come on here and say that, man. Salute to all you do.
Thank you, Sir Hell.
Thank you, Sir Hell. I appreciate you, brother.
D-Dan.
How you doing? What's going on,
sir?
I'm doing all right.
How you doing?
I'm doing okay. I'm enjoying the show, and congratulations to you, Rilla. On your marriage and on nice good things of life and stuff like that. So I got a little few things I want to add to it though.
But Dan, can I ask you a question before you get started?
Mm-hmm.
I need a dating update. How many dates you been on this year thus far? Last time I talked to you, I don't think you had any this year. What about now? How's your game going?
No, not right now. Actually, it is cold as son of a gun up here. I'm in Chicago, by the way. It's windy up here.
Oh, okay.
It's actually below.
Take your time.
It was actually below 70 degrees, and the wind make it below 32. So I can't.
I'm about to say,
ain't no busting no moves.
Ain't got nothing to do with no wind. That 7-degree weather is everything.
Yeah. So it's really my health. So I can't So anything below 20 degrees, I'm not supposed to be out, especially for long, because it's easy for me to get frostbite since I don't have a feeling below my chest. So
Right,
so
right.
I
Well,
just got the.
listen, it's just a slight delay. You're gonna get back out there.
Oh yeah, of course. Well, I'm always in tune though, anyway, because you want to be updated and see what's going on out here in these streets. So but
All right, so listen, go ahead and you had a comment for Rilla, right?
um. Yeah, I want to add something I was thinking about. Yeah. I'm just gonna as the whole. So Rilla had said something about I think y'all was saying something like why most young folks don't listen to the elders, right? And I think it was something related to that. I think Rilla was talking about how his grandmother was when he don't take his advice, grandma, about him getting married the first time, and he didn't
Right.
listen.
Mm-hmm.
And y'all was saying like why is it a lot of young folks don't listen to the elders? And
Right.
I'm gonna tell you why. I'm gonna be honest with you. Now, ain't nobody gonna tell you this, but I'm gonna tell you because I'm just gonna tell the truth about it. You gotta understand. Y'all gotta understand something. Y'all grew up. How y'all came up when y'all was youngest is totally different. How we came up. How we coming up now? Totally different dynamic. Totally different standards. Everything. So you got to look at this thing from top to bottom. Right now, you have 35-year-old grandmothers and 35-year-old grandfathers. 35 to 40 years old. That's just a fact. It's like the young folks don't respect old niggas. They respect elders. It's a big difference between the old nigga and the elder. An elder is somebody who been through it all, the good, the bad, and who won't lie to them, who let them know, like, hey, X, Y, and Z. Nowadays, you see a lot of 35-year-old grandparents, 40 years old, they still trying to compete with their daughters and their granddaughters. I have, and I'm out here every day, so I can actually talk about this type of shit. You know what I'm saying? So you see it every day, So, and it's like I think brother was saying when he was in Miami, you see a lot of them with the bonnets on, the fur flip flop with the booty shorts. Oh, and let's not forget the thought tattoos too. I coined the term the thought tattoo. I'm gonna tell y'all what the thought tattoos is. The thought. Have y'all heard the tramp stamp back in the early 2000s where they had the tattoos above they behind the tramp stamps? Well, I
Yes, sir.
call it the thought tattoos now because the thought tattoo is when you have a bunch of tattoos on your ass and close on your private part don't need to be, and you short it all off. So you just show your whole ass off. So, and I don't want to just get on them. I'm gonna get on some of these moist dudes too, because you do got a lot of these young guys is moist as hell, from how they dress or what
Now,
they build.
Dan, let me ask you a question. If I ask you what that means, are you gonna blow my mind, or can you give me the clean version?
I'm gonna give you the
What does
clean
that
version,
mean?
but I'm gonna let you figure it
Okay,
out since I don't want to be braided
okay,
hard.
okay. Give me
The
the clean version.
So the thought tattoos is any woman as having tattoos that don't need to be on her so far as her part of her private area.
Okay, and what
That would
about
be
what about the guy, the moist guy?
what you mean the voice guy.
I thought you said moist. MOIST.
Moist, yeah. Moist, like you see a lot of guys, especially when I was down there in Atlanta. Like I've seen a bunch of moist activity going on down there. I'm gonna be honest with you. And I travel around, so I move around. So I'm not one of these type of dudes that stand in one city. So I move around. I'm all through different states.
So I think
Like
I
you would have
understand.
somebody, huh?
I think I understand you now. I think Rilla got a question for you.
Okay, I'm all ears.
All right. So, what part of the crib you from?
I'm from out west.
Okay, so you
I'm
from
out
out
west
west.
right now.
Okay, so you with the travelers. Okay. Uh, shout out to TVLs. I got you. So, so look. So
Wow.
because when you were saying, because when you make the distinction, I got a question around. You make the distinction that the youth nowadays aren't listening to the elders because, or the old people, because one of the things is people that are old try and compete with younger generation. Like it can be said, the fact that I'm dressed the way I am at the age that I'm at, I'm trying to compete right now. I'm just staying fresh.
No. That has nothing to do with dressing.
I know. I'm just adding context.
Okay.
But here's the thing. So when you think about Tukey Williams, when you think about Fred Hampton, when you think about Larry Hoover, when you think about
Jeff Ford,
when you think about, they were all,
Bobby Gore,
they were all relatively young, and the youth took instruction from them.
That's facts.
Okay, so I would contend, and I don't know if you would agree, I would contend that the disconnect is on really kind of from the elders in the sense of, and this is why I approach it a little bit different. I make a concerted effort to reach out to the youth and connect with them where they are. I do not force them, and nor do I have an expectation that they should be at the level where I'm at, because they don't know what they don't know. Right?
That's understandable. So that's true. Like even some of the older cats in my neck of the woods, right? Here was the difference with, so it's a power dynamic where how women deal with each other. It's a power dynamic how men deal with each other. Young, old, however you look at it. Here was the thing about older cats. I'm just gonna convert over to the men since I'm a young cat. A lot of us keep it real with each other. Like you'll have an older cat who's homeless or he went through rough time in his life, and this is why some of the things that I stand on what I say, I'm living through it. Like I don't have any kids, right? You know what I'm saying? And I said I would never bring a kid in this world unless I'm married. You know what I'm saying? I have that family structure because I believe in raising all my kids in one household. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of older cats, even though a lot of them made mistakes, a lot of them will tell you. Because it's been taught to me so many times, like, hey, and one of the best and some of the goodest advice they gave me, they say, hey, you don't want to be a nigga that's over 35 years old that's broken homeless. You would not be respected. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of the older cats who I would say 65 and older, you talk to them long enough, they will keep it real with you. Now, some of the stuff they would tell you that you may not agree with, whatever, because then I could also tell when I'm talking to certain older cats, they kind of been out of touch with reality, or they a little stuck in their ways, or they never been out there in the streets to see what's going on until they went out there and seen you. Like, damn, I see what the young. That's like what you just said. Like when you went to Miami, you see all the shit going on. You like, now I understand. Now you saying it as an older cat, I understand where these young cats coming from. You know what I'm saying? And you on mute.
No. I know I'm on mute. I was just saying, I see what the manosphere is saying when they talk about these women with the bonnets and the furry slippers. That's what I was saying.
And here's the thing though. Like, listen, I've been paralyzed almost 3 years, so I done dealt with a lot of chicks, old, young, however you want to call it. I have literally a lot of and security boss. This is where you come in at, because now you have a platform. You could actually give some game to a lot of younger chicks, but I think you should get out a little bit more, and really see what's going on. You know what I'm saying? But here's the thing. Here's the thing with the women. A lot of older women your age, they don't like keeping it real with these young chicks. We understand that a lot of them is hard-headed. A lot of them don't listen. A lot of them look up to media more than they look up to a mother figure. All those women that came before y'all, they long gone. See, my grandma was born in 1928, so I got an old school grandma.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? Who laced the nigga with the game. So, because my father, he was young. So he was young out of the Mohegans, and he had a lot of older brothers and sisters. Even when I chop it over my uncles and aunties and older cousins on my father's side, a lot of them don't know what's going on because a lot of them been married for 30, 40 years, or a lot of them ain't out there to see what's going on until they start traveling out. Then they like, you know what? Damn, I see my nephew saying. I see what he's saying. Now, even though I might sound a little harsh, but Rather if I sound harsh enough, the truth is the truth. Really, no
Right.
matter how you cut it.
So Dan, listen, I want you to give me one more final thought because we got to get out of here. We got some other people backstage actually
Okay,
need to
yeah,
get brought up.
okay.
Go ahead. Go
No,
ahead.
what's my? You say my final thought, or you had a question for me?
No, I want you to give us your final thought because you're a very wise man. I hear you and I know exactly who you are. So I'm gonna keep getting the updates, and I appreciate you being here. But I wanted you to give us your last and final thought for today.
So my last final thought will be, stay educated,
I didn't hear
stay
you.
active, and I say
Okay.
stay educated, stay active.
Thank
Because
you.
you're never too old to learn something. You never, never, never too old to learn something new. And if you've seen a culture get shifted, you got to put in the work to put on that right path. So I'm gonna keep it at that. So it was
Thanks,
nice
Dan.
talking
I
to
appreciate
y'all, and
it.
I'm out of here.
You too.
Deuces.
We'll see you soon.
All right.
Bye-bye. Miss Bethany.
Hello, good evening.
Hey,
Hello,
baby.
hello. How are you?
I'm doing fine. How are you?
I'm doing well. I appreciate you so very much. You stuck in there with us tonight.
You don't have to. I love tuning in.
Thank you. So what do you think about what Mr. Chicago Rilla has blessed us with tonight?
First of all, I just want to come on and say congratulations, Chicago. I've been watching you probably for, I guess, the last 9 months. And first of all, you come off like a big brother. I already have two big brothers, but you are definitely so wise, and you're just a great example for our community. I've sent Security Boss's channel to my family, my brothers, my mom, and they are like super supportive, and they're just like, well, what's going on? You're tuning into these different platforms. What's being said? And I send them the Lapeef network also, and they're like, this is so heartwarming to know that finally people in that look like us are speaking about these issues, are supporting marriages, and I'm looking forward to the future because of you all and the platforms and the message that y'all are putting out there. I said it before, we may not see a change tomorrow, in a year, maybe not in 5 years, but I'm being prayerful that maybe in 10 years, 30 years, when my 3-year-old and 6-year-olds have a chance with some young lady or whatever, that, it'll be a difference in a few years. And I really hope this is the starting point for that. So
Thank you, Bethany. Thank you. Thank
So
you.
congratulations. I'm excited and to, follow
Thank
you on your journey.
no, thank you, Miss Beth. My grandma said, when you gonna get these other heifers in order?
Look, we trying one at a time, one at a time.
Wow.
I'm sorry, SB. I'm sorry, SB.
Oh, it's fine. I got it. I'm saying the same thing. I'm saying the same
My
thing.
grandma still be saying heifer and wench.
Well, it's funny
Wow.
because my mom was listening to a couple of shows and she was like, is it really that bad out here? I'm like, Mom, it's that bad. It's really that bad. So,
That's funny. That's funny. So listen,
anyway,
thank you so much, Bethany. And listen,
yes,
I
of
know
course.
we'll see you soon. Thank you for tuning in and keep us in the loop.
I will. Y'all have a good night.
All right, you too.
Mommy. She's so dope.
Bolo TV. Is Bolo there? I don't see the little man. So the Thomas Gang Podcast. How you doing, sir?
Good, security boss. How you doing? Can you hear me?
Doing well. We're making it through. Yes, sir. I hear you very well.
Oh, okay. What's up, Rilla? This Rel Thomas from Thomas Game Podcast. Yeah, that was me who made the comment earlier.
Yeah.
They do know what they talking about, brother. Thank you, man. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Mom and them.
Absolutely. I just want to say this. Been watching you as well for about almost a year from Lapeef, and just admire the growth since the time you started then until now. And I want to say what you're doing here is big because what you've been through, a lot of guys have been through, including myself. at the going through a divorce, and then maybe having fear or questioning, can you get married again? And a lot of guys won't admit that, because a lot of guys want to be tough. They don't want to put that out there. They don't want to look like they're soft, or people may call them soft. So for you to get up here and put that out there to some guys going through the same situation is a big deal. You know what I'm saying? It's a huge thing. So, I want to congratulate you on that. And also want to say, like I said, you've grown since last year, since when you first got on the show. I just wish that, because you make a lot of great, valid points, and a lot of times it gets cut off because they cut you off. You know what I mean? So, like,
Yeah, we know.
yeah, but like Mr. Lee said in King Talk, like, hey, let's not even go back and forth with them. Let's not argue with them. Like,
Yeah, here's the thing. Two things. Thank you for that support. The truth of the matter is, I've grown since 2015, 2016, 2017, 2018. So the goal. So I'm glad you guys have a lens to be able to see it. So I hope that in 2023 you guys will be able to say, man, really, we continue to see the growth, and I should be able to say, hey guys, I continue to see the growth in you as well. Right. It's just that in 2021, I had a lens put on me, not by choice, but I guess by choice, but I didn't volunteer for it. But anyway, regardless of that, growth, I consider myself a lifelong student. So we all should be growing now. And I should have made clear, when I come on these platforms, I represent self. I don't represent the Lapeef network. One of the things that I think is important when you guys see me interact on Thursday, and I think it's very few people that get it, because the people that get it, they'll hit me in the inbox. Sometimes you need to see certain behaviors on display. Sometimes I'll take the arrow, the bullets, or whatever else. It may not look pretty. It may look like, oh, they emasculating this dude. Oh, he a simp beta host up, whatever else, whoop-de-woo. No, sometimes listen, this is YouTube. This is the internet. The cat can't never disrespect me, fam. You disrespecting yourself. Because one thing about me, when I go out in these streets in real life, I'm still 10 toes down. Well respected. Okay? Well respected. Locally accepted. You understand what I'm saying? So,
Yeah.
Sometimes it's important to let young bloods in the audience see certain behaviors on display, so they can see it for themselves and then make an informed decision. That if you see a man that's being respectful, being mindful, deferring, hey, may I please, you're using all the kind words, and then you're still getting a particular type of pushback in a particular type of way, or they may see me off my square. All of that is important, because then they need to see that, man, he ain't perfect. He don't hold it down like that all the time. And then, like I say, when I talk to my sons, watch the bounce back. Even if you see me miss the mark, watch the bounce back, and that's what's most important for me, respectfully.
right. And I know you said that you don't, you never seen yourself doing this, and this wasn't your calling. I didn't either. I'm an introvert myself. I'm a laid back guy. Now, a year and a half later, me and my wife started a podcast together. So, but God puts us in positions that we never thought we'll be in for a reason. And you have a story, I have a story, and I've been in situations where I had to talk to young guys too, and young guys come talk to me because of the stuff that I went through. So sometimes we're put in position to things that we never thought we'll be ever doing, but then in the long run, it's something that is bigger than us. We're helping other people along with ourselves through the whole journey. So I want to say, man, brother, keep up the work. Don't let nobody discourage you. You know what I'm saying? Let's just like how Mr. Lee talked to you that day, he talked to me too. Like, this year, let's not go back and forth. Let's not, entertain any negative energy. Let's get our point across and stay 10 toes down and just keep it moving.
I received that. You're right. I received that, brother. I'm working on it, man. Hey, keep me accountable, man. Keep me accountable.
No
All right,
no
my
doubt.
man. Appreciate you.
Right.
Real, shout out your channel before you go.
Or you can check me out, the Thomas Game Podcast on YouTube, Instagram. Me and my wife, like I said, we started it like a year and a half ago. And we talk about everything, man. We talk about relationships, dating, marriage. We pretty much just talking about, making marriage great again. Like it's so much negative energy on marriage and divorces and everything. So we're just trying to bring some insight and bring positivity to it. Like I
Thank
said,
you.
I was just like you. I'm sorry, Nimrod. I was just like you. I went through a nasty divorce and took 7, 8 years away and realized I still had a lot of love left in me. And God blessed me with an angel, and I married her.
Perfect. Listen, tell Miss Tiff we said hello, and I'm gonna have to tune into y'all really soon, and we're gonna do something together.
No doubt, no doubt. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Ellis, how are you, sir? Mr. Ellis,
Oh,
can you hear me?
hey, yes, ma'am. Can you hear me?
I can. How you doing?
Man, first of all, shout out to you, boss lady. I saw you on Lapeef Network, on the Lapeef channel, and when you were speaking to the ladies about basically just, I if and quote me if I'm wrong, but just basically what they're doing wrong, in order to be I guess wise. You were just describing, giving your wisdom out, and I immediately went and subscribed to your channel. I was like, yo, she knows what she's talking about.
Well, thank you. Thank you for
most
that.
most definitely. I was the one that commented on your video about the child support the other day, when you had did the live about child support, and I was like, man, I'm mad I missed that one. Um, But hey, shout out to you, also Chicago, bro. I've been watching you for a minute, brother. You and the whole Lapeef network. Um, Man, y'all have really helped me. I haven't been married or anything like that, but on more similar, I guess, standpoint. I went through a crazy breakup with my children's mother, and even now, like I have to go to court tomorrow. Speaking on it, just for things that transpire between us, and don't get me wrong, I'm not concerned with it. The more reason I wanted to speak about the child support video was because just kind of a side note. I know that's what we were saying. A side note, I just think it's vitally important, especially for our men, our black men out here. Everyone needs to learn their laws. It's serious. And, for the things that is, happening in our society, I really recommend for men and women to protect themselves. You know what I'm saying? Like really brush up on that. Really, I just came on to say, hello, I appreciate y'all. I'm heavily into it. All the channels, Lapeef, Lead Attorney, you, Pink Book Lessons, like I'm in it heavy. So I really just stopped by to give my congratulations and thanks, because y'all's wisdom is much needed, for real, especially yours, boss lady. I immediately, I was like, oh, finally, somebody old, a more, wiser woman's giving the game out. I'm like, finally, because, man, me personally, if it wasn't for Lapeef's network, if it wasn't for Kevin Samuels, if it wasn't for all of these networks, honestly, I don't know where I'd be. You know what I'm saying? Like mentally, just dealing with it. Like right now, I can't even see my kids, and I have twins. I have a boy and a girl. And yeah, I ain't gonna lie, it eats at your soul. You know what I'm
Bro, can
saying?
you see the back chat? Can you see
Yeah.
the back
Barely.
chat?
Can you see the
Yeah.
back chat?
I'm gonna put my
Yes,
phone number in the back chat. I want you to reach out to me. If you need to
most
chop it
definitely.
up, okay, I want you to reach out to me. All right, I'm gonna put my
Most
number in the back chat. That's
Well, you
my
know
most
what,
real
Ellis,
number.
I'm not gonna tell you a lie. You gave me chills with that. That's such a confirmation that we're doing the right thing. But I appreciate you so much for coming forward and saying it. That's
man.
amazing. It's amazing to hear.
No, I thank y'all, because honestly, between reading books, between just getting the wisdom, because I'll be honest, I had a great mom, single mom household, me and my brother. I was raised by my grandma, granddad, and mom. And by age 26, I lost all of them. So, and it really hit home because when I needed that fatherly, type of guidance. I'm in my 20s, you know what I'm saying? It wasn't there. And so I had to like really, I remember, I'll never forget it. My brother had put me on Kevin Samuels, and I was like, yo, who is this guy? I'm like, man, who are these people? And so I started delving really heavy into the sphere, and I've just learned so much now that like even now I'm going to court tomorrow, and I'm like representing myself, just from learning so much and learning so many laws, and really tuning in to y'all, man. And y'all just don't know, like y'all really are doing God's work, because it really saving a lot of people for real. Like,
yeah, my number's in the back chat, bro. Reach out to me like real spill, because I've been in that courtroom too. So trust me,
Most,
reach out to me.
Hey, bro, I'm
most,
Thank
gonna
you
tell
so
you,
much for being here.
please
So,
try to get.
Samuel Barr. Oh, wait, let me read out this super chat. Samuel Barr, thank you so much for your $5 super chat, and shout out, mad love to you and to both of you. Thank you so much, Samuel. Bolo, is that you speaking?
Yeah, I was gonna say, Ellis. The one thing I tell you,
Oh,
brother,
sorry.
if you can get a lawyer, get a lawyer, my G. Don't go in there by yourself, brother. Okay, because you gotta
I'm
understand
listening. Go ahead.
something. A lawyer is already appointed to her. She doesn't have to pay for it. Us as men, we gotta pay for one. So they're gonna run circles around you. You not knowing the laws and all those things. So the thing that I would tell you is, if you can, find some type of representation.
Believe it or
Okay?
not, and this may sound crazy to a lot of people, believe it or not, I dropped my lawyer. Simply because, believe it or not, I have a mentor who it's an older gentleman, and I couldn't have asked for a more perfect manifestation of what I needed. I remember the day that my children's mother had tried to put a restraining order on me, and it was out of nowhere. I just received something in the mail, and it was like, hey, you got to show up to court. And so I asked God that day. I said, Lord, just get me out of this. I'm like, because I didn't, I just want to see my kids. Like, I don't care about anything else. Our relationship's over. It's cool. Believe it or not, brother, like I have a page full of notes. Like right now, I was writing while y'all were talking. And trust me, these courts don't have as much power as you think, brother. They don't. And I'm not going, I get it. I know she's going to have an appointed lawyer, but
We can't hear you, Ellis. The audio's gone out.
I thought it was just me.
No, it's him.
Yeah, you're not on mute, brother. Your audio has gone out though.
We're gonna drop you down. See, dropped out. Bolo, how are you?
My
I'm
brother,
good, SB. How you doing, Big Rilla? What's the deal, yo? What's going on, brother?
Philly cheesesteaks.
How you doing, sis? How you doing, Auntie SB? What's going on?
I know I got about 5 names, don't
You got about 5 names.
I'm doing
Yeah.
well.
That's good.
Listen, I'm doing well.
How's Mr. Boss doing?
He's struggle streaming tonight. He's about to listen. He's probably trying to pull out some hair of his bald head, but he
That's hilarious.
is good.
That's
But listen,
hilarious.
Bolo, while we waiting for Mr. Ellis to get it together over there, I want to tell you I appreciate you so much. I looked back, I tried to find your number the other day, and I was like, I need to call him. I want to tell him thank you. You were such an asset, and it was so funny to laugh and just actually get the word out and to laugh the other day on that show, my live. I just appreciate you so much. I just wanted to tell you that.
Oh, thank you. I'll text you. Thank you so much. It's a beautiful thing when you have people that are in one mind and one spirit that wants to push out truth and do it in a way that these young men and young women, or as Rilla called them, youngins, that they can receive it, because that's what this is about, right?
Right.
Inclusivity, including everybody. It's not about older
Right.
people going and trying to say that the youngest don't know. It's about everybody getting together because the church is us all, and we're going to need these youngins to give us information because, again, things have changed, and we need to give them, there needs to be an exchange of information so that we both and all can grow together. And that's what Christ is about.
Right.
Inclusivity. He's not about excluding anybody. He's not about trying to make anyone look wrong or look down or you're better than. Listen, there's going to be some things that I'm going to know that you're not going to know, and there's going to be some things that you know that I'm not going to know. I'm willing to learn, and that's the whole thing. And I just wanted to say thank you for you both. Big Rilla, I love you. Thank you for, opening up and letting the people see you. And congrats on your, not to get together. And SB, how I feel. I thank you for, you and your husband coming up here and just, schooling us right. It's very important. So I just want to say thank you. You got me on this new app. I don't know what it is. What I'm saying? It's asking me a whole bunch of different questions. But
Listen, I don't know what it is either. It got me. You see what it got me looking like, right? So, it won't be around too much longer. Don't even worry about it. Don't even worry about it.
God bless you all. Man. May God continue to push y'all with the knowledge and all of us come together and form Voltron so that we can get this word out. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Perry Unlikely, how are you, sir? I can't hear you.
Oh man, they ain't got Master P too. Master P, you on mute? Oh man, Master P on mute. Is you bout it, Master P?
We can't hear you. He's gonna go out and come
I
back
think he
in.
said he's gonna drop
Okay.
down. Yeah. He said
Yeah,
he'll drop
try to
down.
come back. Listen, we are having problems today.
The
Oh
devil
God, I hope
is
it's
a
not
lie.
getting
The
something
devil.
big. I know. I'm gonna see if both of them come back in. Then I'm gonna let you go because we've been at this for over 2 hours now, and I know you probably didn't intend to be here that long, but I definitely appreciate you so much for doing that.
Boo thing give
Okay,
me a
Ella
limited
said
amount
his
of
phone is
time.
acting up, and his phone is acting up, but he got the number, so we're good. And we're gonna just give Master P. We call him Master P now. We're gonna give Master P a moment to see because I haven't seen Master P in a while, so I would love to hear from him. I haven't spoken to him in a while,
I haven't seen him
so give him a
either.
minute to come up. Yeah, I want to make sure he's good. Everything is good. It looked like he was good. There you go. Let's see. Can we hear you?
All right, can you hear me now?
There we go.
Yes.
All right,
How you
good.
been?
Doing good. How you doing?
Doing good. We were just saying we hadn't seen you in a while.
Yeah, I've been on the low, just grinding, just staying
Okay,
busy, staying on it. It's
good.
good to see both of y'all. Great content. I can't say enough about both of you. I had an interesting question for Rilla. Certainly being in Chicago, and I'm not really comparing. You said you work with young men, so I'm not making their situation out to be worse than others. Obviously, I live in Atlanta. I know there's crime everywhere, but I've become really interested. And I would say for someone outside of Chicago, I probably have more of an understanding just because of the time I put in to really understand, just try to get the mindset of what's going on there. As far as the complexities and things, with what you see and understanding it, obviously better than me, because I do have a soft place in my heart for youth. Do you see it as something that can be turned around?
Mm. Ooh.
Yes,
Sometimes you have good days. Well, Chicago, really, that's your question, but I just want to say this. Sometimes you feel like it, and other times you don't. But Chicago, really, you go ahead and answer that.
yeah.
Here's the thing, SB. These young bloods got so much hate in their heart, man.
Yeah.
They pissed off.
Yep.
And it's not enough of us taking time to relate. That's why I say I work really, really hard to really kind of meet them where they at. I don't pass
Right.
judgment. I don't trip on them if they smoking weed in front of me. I'll check them on a few things. Like if it's excessive cursing and stuff like that, like, yo, fam, come on, man.
Right.
Stuff like that, just to set that boundary, because you still have to do that. Your question is, do I see it turning around, man? I'm an eternal optimist. I
Yeah.
believe that with God, all things are possible. So I do believe that. I have seen some things. Now the real question is, can we scale it? I mean, you see things in pockets. That's why I think the pocket that's being missed. We
Right.
spend so much time trying to convert like the old dogs of the community.
Right.
We miss the canes.
Yeah, that's a
See,
good
I
point.
know people. Listen, man. Listen. I use entertainment and movies and music because these are things that we see and we all can relate to. So I know people get annoyed, like, oh, why are you using movies all the
No,
time?
that's an
Everybody know
excellent
who
point.
Old Dog was, and we all had an Old Dog in our neighborhood. Everybody
Right.
know who Kane was. Kane had his grandma and his granddad. Kane
Yep.
was in it, but not of it. His parents, his mama was a smoker, his daddy was a dealer. He came
Yeah.
up in it. But he had his grandparents and he was set on the right path and he still chose. But those are the
Right.
ones that we miss. And so those are the ones that I'm aiming for, man. So
Yeah.
specifically who I work with here, I support MTB, Mentor Teacher Brother. I support Dovetail Project. I support My Block, My City, My Hood. And Brandon Bro, who's a really, really dope artist. He used to do this program called Field Trip, where you'd be surprised. Like it would be the equivalent of kids growing up in College Park but never went to go to Buckhead, like not even to
Oh,
go to Lenox Square Mall. That's what Brandon Bro does. He takes people to other sides of the city to give them different experiences. And so gosh, I don't want to go in a diatribe. Do I see it changing? I believe that when enough of us get together, and I think this is what's happening now, enough of us are getting
right.
together and we're starting to build and we're coming together and we're seeing what needs to be done. I mean, I know that there's 100 Black men of like Atlanta, Chicago. There's a ton of organizations. But I think when the brothers make a concerted effort, we could see some turnaround, but we got to focus and invest on the right segment of the population with those young bloods. And
Absolutely,
I
man.
think it can, but that's me speaking as an optimist.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that. I'll just leave with this. When you're trained to go to war, you go to war. That's what you do. When you're bred to do that, that is what you do. So what may not seem normal to some people is normal to other people. But look, blessings to both of you all. I can't say enough. Security Boss, you are representing the women. I can't say enough about your platform. It's important. And I like that you got your own vibe. You know what I mean? You're blazing your own trail. I appreciate that. And I appreciate you for that as well, Rilla. You got your own authenticity. You're not trying to be somebody else. And it's much appreciated. But you all have a blessed evening.
You too.
All right.
Thank you.
All right. Take care.
Thank you, bro.
So Chicagorilla, guess who just pulled up on us? Our brother in love, Anton Daniels.
Oh, snap. You lying.
No. Hey, Anton. How are you?
What up, fam? What up, dog?
Listen, and Anton don't know we've been struggle streaming tonight. He has.
Is he in there for real? He in the chat?
Well, he said, I hope that's
I
him.
see him.
Yeah, that's him.
I see him.
Hey.
Salute, famo. Salute.
Anton, do you have anything to add to this? If not, Chicago, we're going to drop the link in the chat. If not, Chicagorilla and I are going to call it a night, but I definitely appreciate you dropping by. But Chicagorilla, you know what? It's been real.
I appreciate you, SB. You got so many nicknames: Rich Auntie, Security Boss, Boss Lady. You got to do the Rick
know.
Ross.
And guess what? Bolo be trying to say it all.
Well, he from the East Coast, so he gonna fit all them nicknames up in there.
Yeah, he put them all in there. I'm like, dang, gotcha.
But salute. Hey, listen, real talk. Salute to Anton, because I don't think people realize, like, that brother. You asked me about my journey. One of the things that Anton helped me realize, and he was just piling on to what a lot of my other guys was kind of telling me. It was more or less like, man, what are you waiting for? And it had nothing to do with fear. It was just like, what are you waiting for? And so Anton is one of the few people that I've seen in this space you know, authentically advocate for marriage and extol the virtues of marriage, and just really came at it from a different angle. And, you know, people may not like his delivery. They may not like his approach. But one thing you can't do is argue with results, you know, and I may disagree with that man from time to time on subtle things, ideology. I can
You
spell it. I
got it.
can't say it right.
Ideology. You got it.
But those are minute in term. Those are minute compared to the overall picture.
I
And
know.
and you gotta respect that man for that, man. You can't
Oh, I mean, you
major
know
on
I
minor.
do. Because you
Yeah.
know what? I came into these platforms myself 26 years. I consider myself a relatively young woman. I'm talking about successful marriage. And, you know, people really tripping off of me. And then just to hear Anton talk about it too, it was kind of like, oh, so it's not as weird as, you know, they're making it out to be. And then now Chicago, so many more people, especially on my channel, are coming out talking about how they've been married. Men, 25 years, 10 years, 18 years. I mean, they're coming out now. They're coming out talking about it. And I'm like, wow, this is good. This is good. And I think it's a good contrast to something that may be negative, you know? So
And
I
listen, and
appreciate you
here's
for
the
that
thing,
too.
and they love their wife. You dig what I'm saying? They
Yeah,
still attracted to their wife, still
yeah.
feeling all on their wife and stuff like that. You know.
That's gonna be you.
Listen, I already told Boo Thang. I said I'm gonna be a 70-year-old, 80-year-old, 90-year-old pervert. You ain't gonna be able to keep me off you, girl. I hope you're ready.
You already named it up. That's gonna
I
be
know.
you. It's gonna be you and her.
Yeah, I already told.
So listen, I don't know if Anton's coming up or not. He didn't say anything more, I don't think. But I guess I'll give him just a few minutes because it was kind of spare moment type thing. You know, he
No,
might. You know how he like to lay
he's just
around
showing love and
with no
support.
clothes on.
Right. No, he didn't have Versace roll. He said he was just showing love and support. So
Okay,
appreciate
good,
the
good.
brother
Okay, then well,
for
we're
pulling
gonna
up,
go.
man.
Okay, well, good. Thank you for that. So, again, chat, I appreciate you all so much for sticking in there with us. This was an outstanding interview. You know, who knows why? I'm not even asking any questions. I'm just being thankful. And Chicago-Rilla, I am definitely sending my prayers and everything up to you and Boo Thang. And we're going to continue to follow. We're going to continue to be there with you tomorrow. And, you know, this is going to be all good. And maybe we'll talk again, you know, about that third step or before that fourth step. What would you call it? Is it 4 steps or are we just going to say it's been one and then the end?
I don't even know how many steps it is, but it's coming sooner than later. I can tell you that much.
That's right.
Yeah, it's coming
That's
sooner than
right.
later.
And Don GQ, thank you for subscribing and hello. So with that being said, you want to leave us with some final words and then we're going to be out of here.
Yeah, my final words is make sure you like, share, and subscribe to Security Boss Unsolicited. Make sure that you're sharing with your people and your people's people, and make sure y'all sending in them super chats and them cash apps to keep. If you enjoy quality content and what she's putting out, if you enjoy the conversations that she's having, make sure you're supporting what her and Mr. Boss are over here doing.
Thank you. And we got to have you back. So we're going to talk about it. I'm gonna be tuned in and we're gonna talk about it soon. But thank you so much for being here. And listen, next time I want you to have a list of questions because you're gonna be over on my side. And then you're gonna say, Boo Thang, God, you a married woman now, you ain't acting the same. So you shaking your head because you're gonna be married. She's gonna be like, I's married now. What you gonna do?
About to say that.
Look,
I knew
since
you
you
was
like
about
to
to
use
say
the
that.
movies, I's married
I
now.
knew you was about to say that.
That's gonna be a different woman right there.
Sure gave her.
So that's right. Keep it in mind. All right, Chicago. Thank you so much and have a good night.
You too.
Bye-bye.